Welcome, everybody, to episode 62 of Overdriven, the ODRL podcast. As always, joined by Hendrik. What up, Hendrik?
Hello, hello.
What up, Bren?
Hello.
Currently not joined by Camo at the moment, but he might join us soon. Well,
Oh no.
boys, today took an interesting turn for us. I will talk about that a little bit later, and probably midway point of the podcast. Some stuff to talk about with those trades, and some more rumors, and some trade declines. Very interesting, for to say the least. But we'll start with our reviews. Premiere series this week, pretty much everywhere. All series this week. We're at Echo Park, quote unquote, Atlanta, old Atlanta. Um, Very interesting to say the least. I'm very proud of every series. I am very proud. I know we had some issues a little bit on Monday, a little bit on Saturday. No, I don't think we had any issues Saturday. Mainly Monday had some issues. But I was very proud of everybody. Maximum the race had was 5 cautions. Um, so I was very, very happy. I know it was tough for some people. I understand that there was a no caution call that probably was debatable on being called or not being called. And I'm sorry to those people that were affected for that. Only but was able to see it after the fact. But besides that, it was a fun race overall. Premier we got Carrot with us, joining us in a moment. He was the winner of it. Carrot for getting his first W. For checkered flag. Hendrik, you were there too, along with me and Bren. What was your experience like for that in that draft compared to like a Talladega or Daytona?
Uh, uh, Atlanta, I think as a whole, I don't like the follow the leader kind of thing because it really risks a lot of accidents with the checking up. But
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of saving fuel, I learned a lot from that race alone. And I think that'll help me later on, for trucks
Mm-hmm.
and potentially other things. But for the cup race specifically, it was good just to be up there in the top 10 for the mass majority of it. Obviously, the ending was not what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good example of the ring rust that still lingers.
It happens. I wouldn't worry about it. Um, and plus that was our first time in Atlanta, anyways. The Echo Park, and it's that trail was very tricky. So that red line is not like the Talladega or Daytona where it'll bite you. It can easily get underneath the car, stuff like that. I wouldn't blame you. Really, you used to check up on it. It was just something, it happens, but nothing to stress out about. Bren, you were in the race as well. You had a very nice car with your teammates, always in the Hendrick cars with HVM. How did you feel about that last night's race?
I felt like I felt like overall for Atlanta, I thought it was actually pretty solid. I felt like stage one was perfect in my opinion. I felt like we had a lot of three wide racing. I felt like stage three, besides the no caution call, was pretty good. I felt like there was good racing all around. We learned that saving the most fuel or running it long was the benefit strategy all night long, as you were able to jump people. So if you were able to save fuel, you're able to jump, you're able to get in front of. I thought overall it was fun. I mean, the pushing, I thought there was a lot of checking up. Obviously, a lot of people are fuel saving, but in terms of a super speedway race, I thought it was decent. I don't think it was
Mhm.
perfect. We definitely had a few cautions every now and then from bad pushes, bumps, and stuff. But I thought
Checking
for a
up.
Super Speedway race and for our second Super Speedway race on this game, I thought it was decent. I thought we saw a lot of people being able to check up. We saw the outside lane being working. I worked with Yoshi on the outside lane. It was fun as hell running it three
Hmm.
wide on the top, bro. It was so much fun, but we kept getting interrupted by people jumping in front of us. But besides that, I thought it was pretty fun. And obviously, we have the winner in here, Mets, who we're gonna interview.
Yes, sir. Carrot, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How was your first win experience? Did you think it was going to come out of play track?
I was not
Something like
expecting a play
Echo
track.
Park. Was expecting to play track. As you just moved over from Thunderbolt over to ILM, who has signed you to a future contract, how was your it was your first race under your new team with your new car that you're supposed to be there, that you're scheduled to be there long term. How do you feel that it went with your teammates? Did you feel comfortable with the cars around you? Were you just focused on yourself and just getting up front and staying there? Because I know you got the pole as well, and I noticed in stage one you actually fell back using the top line. I don't know if I don't know if somebody put you in the wall or something. Maybe you scraped the wall or something. But I saw you in the top lane and you fell back a little bit, so I don't know if you were trying to save in that stage or not, but you were able to move from the back to the front a couple times. How was that experience for you?
It was awesome. Been practicing with ILM majority of the season, even though I wasn't on the team. Still practiced and ran with the team, so I was comfortable with everyone there. We all helped each other throughout the race. Beginning of the race, I did fall back, try to save a little bit of fuel. I didn't want to burn more than the rest of the field, and it actually helped out in the end.
Very true, very true. It was the most fun stage one. I didn't expect that. It was very, as Brent said, it was very jam packed. It was a lot of comers and goers, a lot of lead changes, way more than NXT had, but NXT was very clean itself. Um, what's your experience like now on your new team? Do you feel like this was the place that you were missing to put yourself in more wins and go for Sterlo and those wins, or do you feel like it's just a comfortable place where you can just take your time as a rookie and learn the ropes?
I think it's a more comfortable place that I can sit and relax and not feel like I'm pressuring myself to do better. I have other people around me that I know I can lean on when I'm not maybe not the best driver at that track that week.
Very true, very true. Um, let's see what else. Let's talk about the way you went to. You came from NXT to Premiere. Did you feel like it was gonna come this soon, or would you think it was gonna be one more season at NXT with a new game and then jump up, or did you feel confident right off the bat with this new game after showing up in the as a Charter 40 car in the pre-test and doing great at Texas, and you said this might be the place for me? What was your experience with that and deciding what you wanted to do with that?
The preseason test definitely showed that I had the speed to run in Premiere, but I felt like I needed to perform in NXT before I did. I never had a full NXT season where I was up at the front contending week in, week out. So I wanted to run a full NXT season, try to compete for a championship, but with the way NXT was going at the time, I felt I should have moved up earlier. And so I took that risk and it's paid out so far.
I think so. I think so. I think you're leading the candidate of Rookie of the Year by a clear margin right now, as I wouldn't say as expected, but as doesn't shock us. Um, Going forward, do you have a track that you're circled on that you think, okay, that's the next track I'm getting this second win at?
Any sort of mile and a halves, Kansas, Charlotte, Las Vegas, stuff like that. I like. Those are my kind of tracks. Not a big road course fan, as we know.
Yeah.
The super speedways are fun. Got my first win on a super speedway, but I don't think a super speedways in the future as a majority luck tracks, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Or team wise, I think you're in the perfect team for it. ILM is. I don't know if Atlanta was the perfect team place to be, just because it's very
I don't
chaotic
know.
and you can't really. I know the only really team that really was stuck together pretty much was the Hendricks and the HVM, and they got separated a little bit here and there, but it was very chaotic in the end. And then it became fuel mileage as well. How did you feel with that last lap? Because a lot of people are saying dirty. Was it not dirty? Did you? I know Stein made a comment right after the race, but then walked it back a little bit, saying it was your first win. You're going for your first win, so you got to try everything for your first win, and he understands. So how did you feel with that last lap incident that you had with him?
Me and Stein race with each other every week. We practice with each other every week. and we have a good relationship on and off the track. So he knew I didn't meant much by it. Coming into 3, just got a little tight and kind of got his quarter panel. I mean, it happened all night where people were getting tight on the entry of 3. It just happened at
Yeah.
the wrong time, and I got him.
Very true, very true. Now, with the big news of the day, new teammate. So whatever happened last night hasn't carried over because, new teammate now. How do you feel him coming on helps the team and the future of going for that 19-point deficit that HVM has over ILM?
It allows us to be more open with our setups and how we run the car. He was one of those guys that jumped in, was working with us when we would practice before races and such. It was just hard for us to really share setups between each other and how we drive the track and such with each other. But now that he's officially on the team, we should be able to give each other information more fluently and hopefully get quicker as a team.
Very true, very true. Let's see. Did it shock you? Was it a very did you hear rumblings or some rumors? Or did it just completely shock you that it happened this fast? And what was your initial reaction to it after the trade went down?
I was shocked when I just seen the notification he joined the team chat. And I was like, why is he here? So yeah, it threw a wrench in the team for sure. I hate that Camo got pushed to the side a little bit. I get he was part time, but I liked Camo being on the team. He was a great team player. He's a nice guy. It just really shocked me.
Yeah, Camo is a person who loves to be he loves to be a team player, but he doesn't want to have the stress of getting team points. He'll do the job for Nick out of respect for Nick, but his real thing was part time. Obviously, his number one goal was to be a commentary, but obviously we don't have that opportunity right now. But as you said, he's a very good teammate. He gets strategies down pat. He tells everybody what the best thing to do. Helps everybody out. Doesn't matter who they are in that chat. And obviously, you're one of the few people in the chat after winning a race last night. It's not like Stein came into the chat and saying, "Oh, it's not like you first thought was, am I fired? What's going on here?" So it must have been nice. At least it happened the day after you win a race, knowing that you're not going to get, traded or fired yourself. There's no way that would happen. But I did want to give you your praise because you are a great driver. I know you had some issues a little bit last year in NXT, coming up to Premiere for a couple races and be a little aggressive. I know you had the race one, I believe it was at Dover in NXT that you could have got your first victory on. That was some issue there, and you moved past that. So it was I'm very proud of you what you become in ODRL. I love having you here. You're a great addition to the Premiere side. You're doing great with it as always. I'm wouldn't be shocked if you're in the final four racing for that championship for those 3 races. And you can do it. You can bring that ILM championship back home, and where Nick feels like it belongs. Going for that team championship as well. So big praise there. I wanted to tell you best of luck the rest of the season. I'll hand it off to Bran or Hendrick if they have any questions. But shout out you. You're great. You're a great driver. You're gonna be great the rest of the year and the future of ODRL. And appreciate you being here. So,
Thank you, man. I
Brandon, you got
appreciate it.
anything? Hendrick, you got anything?
Yeah. So, Carrot, what have you done differently compared to Heat 5 on this game that has helped you become maybe, I guess, a better driver in general? I feel like you've improved a ton on NASCAR 25 compared to Heat 5. I think you were a little over aggressive on Heat 5, but on this game, I feel like you put a lot of effort into racing. I guess I don't know how to describe it. You've been very good. How would you describe NASCAR 25 compared to Heat 5?
Well, I find the game more fun in general, so I don't find myself really hating driving the car on this game. Last game, it wasn't as fun. I didn't like practicing as much. I kind of just showed up to races. This year, I've enjoyed the game. I've put time in, practicing week in and week out. In the off season, in between games, I got into a little bit of iRacing. I feel like that's helped me a lot. It's really made me understand racecraft and the little things that could make you better.
Very true. Very true. I forgot about that. Very good question. Um, yeah, but again, you're very great very good member of ODRL. Very happy to have you. Shout out ILM for getting that trade done, seeing what they can do. We'll talk more about that when this interview's over. But Carrot, thanks for joining us tonight. Congratulations on that first victory. You earned it. Every bit of it. I know it's the first of many, and looking forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season, my friend.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. All right, gentlemen. We'll move on to we'll talk a little trucks, a little NXT. NXT was very good this week. It was very different from Premiere wise, a little less side by side, a little train. But it wasn't bad. We had some checkups, obviously. You're not going to get rid of checkups, but some checkups. But more patience than usual. It wasn't a field mileage. And that last 10, 11 laps I forget what it was. But it was great racing all around. Ironman went from, I think, 23rd, 19, somewhere like that, in that range, all the way to first in 8 laps, whatever it was. Took that lead 3 wide, entering 3 with a battle with Lost, his teammate, and Impact. I believe the 20 cars on the outside. I forget who was on the outside, but it was a phenomenal race at the end. Very good race overall. Very proud of them. I took their NXT pictures away just for we'll see how it goes at the Texas. If they can prove to me at Texas they're back to normal and being a good series, I'll keep it off for the long term. But they proved Atlanta's a tough track. I loved what I saw. I'll talk a little more about them right now. Hendrick, you were in there as well. How'd you feel about the NXT race?
The NXT race, I think, was a little bit more tame. Definitely more tame than Premiere. I will say that my experience wasn't the best in the last 40 laps because I was definitely under the weather. But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, the racing was good. I mean, the last lap was just the last lap. I know a lot of people got involved in wrecks. I know I got involved in a stack up there and somehow kept it going. But yeah, you know, besides that last lap, I think you couldn't have made it any better. I mean, it was literally good racing from the very first lap to the end of the race. So NXT is definitely taking steps in the right direction. I think if they definitely do well this week, I think they'll be back to where they were.
Agreed. They're making the right steps. I'm giving them little things here and there to like get their little shackles off of them, you would say. But trucks was phenomenal this week again. Just a couple cautions. A tough track. Trucks are very loose on this track, especially if you go a little less on that wedge. But very good driving overall. Very, very fun. I know you were up there the whole time racing for that victory. How'd you feel about the truck race?
I really feel good. I think the only thing I wish I could take back was the contact with Cowboy Tech. I talked to him about that one. It's just like the other 2 races. Like when you get out of line, and then when you try to go back down, you have very little room to where you would not be able to have a mistake occur. And with that restart, when everyone was bunched up and with everyone doing different strategies, it really stacked everyone up. And I had newer tires. He had the track position, and when he slipped up, I thought maybe I could get by him. And then I saw we ended up touching, and he went around, and yeah, I felt bad for him because he did really good in that race before that incident.
He really did.
But I think in terms of after that, you know, with the whole pit strategy, that was very interesting. I was shocked it ended that way. I thought that me and Pumps were going to end up catching their draft, but surprisingly they held their own. But yeah, definitely that was a interesting way for that race to end.
Very true, very true. I was with you and Pump trying to catch them, but we just had no. It's very hard. It's very hard to catch 3 cars, or we have five car trucks, or to say. It's very hard in this game. It's just the super speedway racing is just a little broken, where 5 cars should be way faster than 3 cars that are in the lead. There was an issue with Cowboy Tech being a lap down car. He shouldn't have been in that draft after 5 to go. Got penalized there. It wasn't really intentional or anything. It's just penalty. He didn't really, mean anything ill will towards it. He wasn't helping anybody or trying to help anybody, so no issue there. But it was very good overall race, great overall weekend in Atlanta. We were here last week talking how this could be a total shit show week, quote unquote. I know Camo was here, and we were talking about how we haven't seen a good Echo Park Atlanta league race anywhere. And I think Odell, all 3 series showed up and said this is how it's done. It wasn't the greatest racing from lap 1 to lap, 130 for the 2 races, or one lap to 68. It wasn't the greatest, but everybody did their job, did the best they could, and overall had great experience for the second super speedway race of the year, and then the first race at the newly designed Echo Park. But very good. But let's get in this. Let's get in these breaking news. 2 big ones today. Bran, I know this impacted you just a little bit, just because you're the team that beat the chasing in HVM. What was your reaction to this news of the ILM trade with Doghouse for Stein, the number 2 car in the points?
I know Stein has been wanting a new team based off of our talks. Honestly, this whole season he's talked about how his teammates haven't been really practicing a lot, which has really frustrated him. And I think that finally got to a point to where he wanted out. So I think this trade for ILM is gonna benefit them, but for Doghouse, I mean, they didn't really get anything in return, in my opinion. They got picked, which, in my opinion, I don't really understand why they would trade for picks. They should have got a driver at least, I feel like. Maybe Camo, but for ILM, they're getting a great driver. He's a little vocal, but Sign is very good. I know we talk shit a lot in our Discord and stuff, but I do practice with him a ton. I know he's a good driver. We're all very close. I do think he'll benefit them long run as well as his sign for next season. So I think it's a good move for LM. I just don't understand the plan for Doghouse. I know they're reshuffling some things. They had AMC drop to NXT, which is surprising to me because I thought AMC was very solid in Premiere. So I'm interested to see what they do going forward.
Also, Andy left Doghouse.
Oh,
straight up, and Stein signed Andy to NXT, right? So they don't even have Andy in NXT. So a lot of shuffling from Doghouse. It's very interesting to see what happens there. It's hard to elaborate. I was in the talks the whole time, and between I was like, all right, I wonder some things I don't understand. Some things I'm like, all right, draft picks, okay. You want your first the thought process is get something if Stein is not happy and he can leave by asking for a release and then going to the team anyways, and then you getting nothing. So getting something out of nothing, and the relationship between Austin and Nick goes a long way. And I know there's some private details in that meeting a little bit that it's not really public, that influence some things. Not nothing weird or notorious or whatever, but just a little promises here and there that can add to the deal that's not really made public. Yeah, and then the other breaking news: MMM is back. Formerly
hell yeah.
HVM got bought out. MMM
Not really
Midnight Mission
bought
Motors.
out.
Oh yeah, but
It
it
wasn't really
was taken
bought
over
out.
by Impact, and Impact took over the name. Now I think he got permission to get the name back, to start his own thing again.
Obviously.
And they signed Trevi and Trucks, so he's a new team owner again, taking over from the Vegas Motorsport gang that didn't really show up at all, and starting fresh there. Got some Doc Nanners coming in. Trevi, who is the trade in the Stein trade, is now on Midnight Mission. So I don't understand the logics there, but I'm sure it will play out for what it is. Hendrick,
Doghouse.
go ahead.
Ooh, I was
Go ahead.
gonna say Doghouse is. I think Midnight's on their team, so
He is.
I think they wanted Trevi. So I don't know. They wanted Trevi, and I know Trevi's been on Midnight's team before, so I feel like Holy Divine. I think he's comfortable with Trevi, so I don't know, but
Especially
I
being a
felt that's a decent
developmental
move.
series. I
Yeah,
think the move, Hendrick. I know you're part of this team and Truck especially, and then going forward, there's some rumors around about you going forward as well. But in my opinion, it was basically building up. It was supposed to be building up the trenches of DHR for
Trenches.
for NXT and Trucks, and then letting the Premier side really like settle itself out and just figure stuff out. Hendrick, what was your reaction to this news and the future of DHR as a team driver for them?
Yeah, I will say, looking at it, I do wish they did get more people. I mean, I did get a lot of time practicing with Stein. I did learn a good bit from him. So I know he's going to be a big help for his new group. And looking at our whole group now over there, there's not like one that immediately pops out at you as someone who can, step into that top role. I mean, yeah, you got like people like Georgia, you got Savage in that organization, you got Tyreek in one of the teams, but Stein is one of the biggest like pieces right now for especially the Premier Series. So I do think in terms of that, that's a big hit. Um, Obviously, I know there's some things that they're looking to do. I will say some of the little secret, some of the best parts about that whole thing, it's best to be kept secret for now.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I like it just for the simple fact it keeps it entertaining. You never settle. I love when teams can interact and discuss things and keep it. We race 3 nights a week. What are you gonna do the rest of the week? I know some people have other leagues, other stuff, but keep them invested, keep it interesting. We podcast as well, keeps us interested. NXT's can take some stuff away, like rankings and others, like good race polls. They got the good race poll back this week as well as no practice pictures. But keep it interesting the whole week. Keep them invested. That's the key thing, and I think it brings that into it. I think Stein will be phenomenal at ILM. I think Doghouse has a plan going forward. I think you are a big part of that plan. I know Holy, being a team owner, a lot would say he's got a lot of respect as a team owner after what he did for HVM, and I think he was a start of that as it grew. He was the reason Impact, Sterlo are together. He brought Bren back into the league. Cowboys as well from another league. He brought him in the league, so he was pretty much the brainchild behind HVM. I know Impact took it over and has jetted off with it, and he deserves the respect as well. But Holy, he did a lot for that team, and he built it, and I think he can really build MMM as well, starting with the trucks. I think he can really help Doghouse now that's starting from the ground up. So I'm really interested to see how it does. I'm really interested to see how it goes going forward. I know you really can't bring anybody in for a championship contender because we don't have that many races to go for the 60% threshold that you have to make for championships. I know trucks have a couple more less races than NXT or Premier. So we'll definitely see what happens. But it's going to be interesting to see. I know they both have goals. I know they're going to reach those goals if they want it. And as long as they keep it straightforward and do the best they can, I'm sure it would be all fine. All fine. They're classics. They're part of the quote-unquote ODRL Hall of Fame. And interested to see where it takes us. All right, we'll get to some podcast questions here. That breaking news that happened today took everybody by storm and takes a little bit away from the podcast questions. But let's see if we can find one or two. Let's see. What driver? Here's a question for you, Hendrik. If you were a team owner now, what driver? Let's say trucks. Say you're a truck owner, because I obviously think we all have the same answer for if we had a premier team. What driver would you start number one if you were building a team? If you could pick anybody in trucks, that's not including yourself, who would it be?
I would have to go with pumps on that one.
I agree. 100% agree. Brandon, do you agree with us?
Based on my conversations, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get him to the best of his abilities so he can eventually get to Premier, so I'm working on that with him.
Yeah, very true.
We're working on a plan, eventually.
Top two of my new prospect rankings, so he's up there. Top three, I think it is. NXT, do we have one? Anybody have anybody stands out? Who would be the
Tyreek.
number one? Tyreek, okay,
Tyreek
I agree
at
with
the
that.
moment. I trust Tyreek the best.
We won't say the premier guys who've come down. We're not gonna say Iron Man and Impact Irish. We know them. I'm talking about prospect wise. Who would you start your team with? I think we all agree. Hendrik, you agree with that? Hi, Tyreek. Do you have somebody else that you would start with?
Yeah, I
Some
can
other
see
good
that.
guys.
Yep. And I think everybody knows Premier. There's not really much of who you start with. I think the answer is probably either Stein, Sterlo for sure. Sterlo's number one for us. I do believe. When you're that consistent, I know he hasn't had the last 2 weeks of consistency, but road course racing is not his thing. And then the crapshoot of a super speedway is not really something you really quote unquote judge on. Sterlo, Carrot's up there for the win. He's been very consistent this year. So there's a lot. Anybody else that stands out to y'all for Premier that you would really start your team with?
I'm not gonna say. Let me look. Actually, obviously Cobra, he's solid. Spartan, I would start a team with Spartan. He obviously knows how to run a team, so he's a good guy to maybe lead a team. Obviously Sterlo, Stein, he's very vocal, so I could see Stein being a good leader. Who else would be really good? Camo, obviously. I'm trying to look down like good leaders, like who can lead a team. Obviously you Mets, cause yeah.
We're talking about who would you start? Who would you if you had a draft? If you had a draft pick right now, who would you select? I think all of us would select Sterlo for Premier. If we had a number one draft pick and Premier would be Sterlo. I think Stein would probably be a 1A, 1B if you really thought about Stein being an up and coming guy. I think he's a little down on himself. Yoshi's coming up there as well, and then Tyreek and NXT. Hendrik is somebody in trucks. I would go out. I think you'd 1A, 1B with Pumps. I think Pumps can have some issues here and there with he might wreck somebody, might cause himself to wreck. And there, Hendrik is usually to the point where his truck's up there every week, contending for a top 3. Only time he's not in there if it's a fuel mod, like he had that a couple weeks ago, and it was first place car, and just fuel mod didn't go his way. But he's always up there, so it's somebody that you would start a team with. So it's a lot up there. I do want to start this, Bryn. I don't want to do beef wise. I don't want to start a war or whatever. But did ILM today close the gap that they had in the team comparison between ILM and HVM?
If you want me to be honest, yes, in a sense that they did get Okay, this is gonna sound so wrong. Camo's been great, but the one thing that I think the team has been really lacking as of late is finishes, and the one thing that Stein brings is the finishes. He's finished second 2 weeks in a row. He's finished top 5 the last 6 weeks in a row, which is impressive. That is the one thing that he brings over a guy like Camo, who is really quick and qualifies pretty well, but like he's been saying all year, he has shit luck. And when you finish 15th because of shit luck, it costs your team points, unfortunately. And I don't think he should still be running full time. Hopefully he's running full time, even though he says
I think he'll be
part-time.
there every week. I think he'll be there every week, but I don't
Man's
think he
been-
wants the pressure of being a team driver and just being an affiliate, knowing that, okay, I can step in as a team sub when I need to, and then run full. I didn't think he can even remove him from the standings as well. You know, keep it as a quote unquote open 91, just so when Camo races, you don't have an issue with the standings that you have Camo racing for another car when he subs type stuff. So I don't think he even worries about that. If as far as I know, that's from the conversations that I've had with Ironman and stuff. But yeah, I quote on the part time is just a thing where I think it's just mentally, I don't think he's full time, but I think he'll be there weekly. I think he enjoys it weekly, and it helps him in the future with commentary, knowing what to expect when you see it in a TV perspective and a outside camera perspective, knowing what the car can do, explaining what the car can do, being the Clint Boyer, Dale Jr. type stuff on television compared. Now he understands what it can do in the car, in the same group of people he's racing with, and knowing what their tendencies are. When he sees it on commentary, Hendrick's doing the same thing as well, can be able to see what people are doing and what the cars are doing, trucks are doing, until when a time comes where they can get back into that booth, in my opinion. I don't know. Hendrick can tell me I'm wrong, but I believe that's a big thing for them as well. Do you think, Hendrick, I'll tell you this, do you think ILM brings the gap to a small gap? It was at 30 a couple weeks ago, and so far I think Sterlo's finishes has been hurting HVM a little bit, and then now having Stein having a 19-point gap. Do you think it continues to shrink, or do you think this puts HVM on notice, saying, okay, we had to step it up now. We have somebody on our tail, even though it's 19 points. You can't let up now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more of a warning shot. Stein will definitely help neutralize, those races where ILM may have a bad race and Sterlo and them have a good race. I do think that it's not going to be so one-sided anymore. I wouldn't be shocked if ILM ends up getting closer to catching Sterlo's team, but it's just going to be a matter of can they keep it up? Because I mean, it could go either way every week at this point now with those two teams.
Very true. It's gonna be very fun to watch. This is the time where I wish we had commentary, because it's gonna be fun to watch every Monday in this premiere series of these. I'm not gonna even say it past. There's a lot of other teams that can put some stuff together too, and so it's not just a two-team race. There's other teams who can at that another Left Turn Motorsports can put a team together. I even know Stein's a team owner in Premier, is building a team himself, and they're starting to get some full-time influence now. Sean, I think he's considering being a full-time. Extreme Shocks, who's been part-time lately, is now full-time now. That was announced today as well. So that's building a team. Those are very good drivers coming in, doing the best they can, and it's going to be very interesting to see the run to the finish, and then playoffs and stuff like that. We have what's it called in a couple weeks starting. We have the bracket starting in 2 weeks after
I think it
the
was
Brickyard,
two.
so it's going to be very fun. And I think right now I heard a rumor right now it might have switched, but Bren versus Camo first round, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens. I don't know if it switched
If he races.
this week. I think he will.
Hey.
But we will get into our picks now this week.
Hold on, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I can't ask this to the question. All right, so we all know like consensus on the top two drivers right now is between obviously Stein and Sterlo, because Stein has been really consistent with the finishes. Sterlo's been a little bit iffy with the penalties and fuel saving as of late. But who is the third best driver in this league in Premier right now? Because it is so tight.
That's tough.
That's the real question.
That's
I'm
Premier
not gonna
wise. You
answer it.
don't know. You have two people standing out. Carrot's on that list. Cobra's on that list. Cowboys is taking a little step back from this game compared to Heat 5, where he was top 2, top 3 every week. He stepped a little back. Yoshi Racing shows up when it matters. I know he's not very high on himself most of the time, but he shows up when it matters. You show up. Line Cone. Right, Line Cone's another person. He could put off 3 races in a row if he needs to. So, I think it's between Blind, Cobra, Carrot is my opinion. I think it's you after that, in my opinion. No, how about you, Hendrik? You have anything? You have a third one? It's tough. That's tough. Premier wise, that's tough.
You
It could
know,
be anybody.
Carrot definitely took a step in the right direction, but I need to see a little bit more out of him throughout the next few weeks before I consider him as like a top 3.
Yeah.
I'm really looking at Cobra and Line to Cone for that one. Between those two, I mean, don't get me wrong, like Cobra is higher up in points, but Line to Cone, I mean, he's still top 3 in top 5s and top 10s. So I mean, if you want someone that brings out better finishes, I mean, that might be the one you're looking at.
Agreed. It's a great question, Brent. Thank you for bringing it to us. All right, we'll go
Just
to our
consistent.
picks here in a little preview here. What'd you say? Do
I'm
you have
just
anybody?
consistent.
You have anybody besides yourself?
If I had to go for the third best driver in
Breast.
Premier,
He did it again.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Clip it.
oh Lord, oh God. I'm gonna go with at the moment what I've seen on track and just what's been tracking as of late, and I really do think if we didn't have fuel saving at all, I think he would be way better since he runs controller. I think Yoshi's been really hot. I would go him. Aligned has been good when we don't have fuel saving. I think
Yeah.
he's in the same situation as Yoshi Racing where he has a wheel. I don't know why he doesn't do it yet. He can save the fuel, but he doesn't, which is confusing to me. Because if he just saved the fuel, I think he'd win a lot more races. But I would go with Yoshi Racing at the moment, just based off of lately. But if I had to go overall season right now, I would go with Cobra. I think he's obviously third in points. He's shown a lot this season. I feel like he's been a lot more consistent. I feel like he's got the speed every week. He moves to the field efficiently. I would go with Cobra as the third best driver. Obviously, just third in points right now has been really good in that one car for ILM. And I think this season he moved up from NXT, and I think it's benefited him massively.
Very true. Very true. Gonna be very interesting. I would say Yoshi Racing is probably the best driver on controller that we have.
I would agree with that. I
Okay,
can't believe
yeah.
what he's doing with that shit.
Yeah.
There's no
Very
force.
good.
There's no feedback at all on that shit.
It helps a little bit. It helps better in this game because I'm also a controller guy. It helps better in this game, not feeling enough force feedback. The vibration a little more less, and only having draft vibration. It helps a little less when you can. It makes you feel the car more. It makes you look at the car more, and this game is better at showing you visual cues instead of. So this game really helps with that. That's why it's such a great game in my opinion. But we'll move on to our picks this week on 2 different tracks. They're right across the street from each other. Trucks are going to IRP, and then Premier is going to the Crown Jewel race at the Brickyard in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Should be a fun one. We'll start with trucks this week since we have 2 truck drivers in here. Brent, I'll let you start first. Who's going to win IRP, and what do you expect in this track? The short track, probably North Wilkesboro feel to it, little loose here and there. How do you feel about this race coming up?
Honestly, this one should be fun. I've run this track in Arca. That's when it's like actually unbearably loose. But in trucks, I feel like this should be a fun little track. Now it is very tight, and I will say we'll probably have a few cautions as you're gonna have to run the top lane. But I think overall this track should be fun. It's gonna have that short track feel, so I feel like people who are really did we run North Wilkesboro? We did, didn't we?
We did.
Yes, and yeah,
People who are
yeah,
good at
yeah.
North Wilkesboro will
And-
be good at this track. I'm just letting you
Mhm.
know now. I really do think they'll be good at this track. If I had or Rockingham as well. If you're good at Rockingham. So I'm gonna look at
Mhm.
Rockingham results. Oh no, I don't know if he'll show up though. I'm afraid that one of my drivers, Lefty, he's really good at these short tracks, but I'm a little worried about making the races as of now.
Mm.
But if he shows up, I really do think he can win it. So I'm gonna go with Lefty. He's got the speed at these short tracks. I know he's been off for a few weeks, but I really think if he returns, he'll be a threat. And if I had to go for my dark horse, I'm gonna go with somebody who used to be my team owner, started his team again this week. I'm gonna go with Holy Divines.
Okay. You got left
Started
team
his new
Holy?
team up. Yep. Divines is back, and I feel like he'll be solid at yeah. I'm going with Lefty and Holy Divines.
Perfect, perfect. Hendrik, as a driver, what do you expect going into this track? I know you're very good
Back on.
at you were very good at North Wilkesboro, and that was your first that was your pretty much coming out party at North Wilkesboro. How do you feel coming into IRP this week? Have you been able to get some track time yet, or has it just been too busy with it being a holiday week?
Yeah, I've been busy with it, and I think of the last few races until the playoffs, this is the one I feel the least confident about.
Okay.
So I really don't know for sure how it's gonna go. But I mean, as obviously with it being a short track, I expect there to be a lot of incidents due to people just bumping people out of the way. So I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case for Saturday. And then for my picks, for my main pick, I know he did really good when we went to North Wilkesboro. Go on ahead and give me. Um, actually, he's not in. Actually, yeah, he is. He is in there. Okay. So for my dark horse pick, I'm gonna take EXO.
Okay.
EXO finished in the top 3 at North Wilkesboro and really could have made the case to win the race.
Yep.
So, I mean, I know Holy's a good sleeper pick, but I think EXO is just as good. And then for my primary pick, another guy who did really good there, I'm going to go with Juicebox on this one.
Okay.
Obviously came off a win, first win of the season. I think that might have opened up a lot of things for him, and I think that this could be another week where he does get a win.
Those are great picks by both of you. I'm gonna change it up this week. I think the person might tell me that he's not confident this week, and he might not do great, and he's worried about it. But I'm gonna go Hendrick this week. Um, I think you are a driver who adapts to the track very fast. North Wilkesboro, you had a very good truck, and it was very fast. And I think you were just a couple turns away from actually being able to win that race and show out. I think you're gonna have a great time. I think you're gonna have a great experience this week. I think this is the one that you were great at Rockingham as well. So I think these short tracks really open up to you, and I really think this is the time that you get that first victory. And then my dark horse is going to be. This is a tough one. Dark horse. My dark horse is going to be. I'm gonna say Zay. I think he's a first 2 races of the year, just brand new driver. I think he has the opportunity to really be the next Pumps. He had the only issues he had Saturday was a little bumping aggressiveness, but from what I hear, he's very fast compared to like a Pumps, and it can be the future of a Truck Series, NXT Series, maybe a future Premier driver. So I'm gonna go Zay for my dark horse. Okay, gentlemen. Since Camo's not here, we can move on to Premier. Indianapolis. It's a crown jewel race. Bren, how do you see this one going?
Indianapolis, the home of the pitiful Colts. Unfortunately, we are down in the dumps, man. We are horrible. Our defense cannot stop a twig. But yes, Indianapolis. I think it's gonna be amazing. I think this track. A lot of people. I feel like on the last game on Heat 5, it was a lot more of. It was a lot more hairy. I feel like on this game, on Heat 5, if you let off the gas, you just kind of get loose and you would kind of roll up the track because you're in 2020 cars at Indy. It's not like that on this game, and I actually like that. I will say though, you have to enter the corner right or you'll get tight a little bit. But I feel like we're gonna have a lot of racing. I think it's gonna be the same situation as I think Pocono in a sense with the long straightaways, but the tight corners. Just a lot more corners this time, 4 instead of 3. I think it'll be fun. A lot of pack racing. We'll have a group split out from the main pack. I feel like, because once you split out and you lose the draft of a pack, I feel like that will spread out the field. Overall, though, I think Indianapolis will be fun. I can't really say for sure though. I've run a lot of practice races, like online, just regular fun races, and it's pretty fun track. It's just if you get a bump up the track and you hit the wall, it's kind of devastating.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I think I from my experience with this track, I enjoyed it more than I do in Heat 5. It's more like a Forza feel at this track more than anything, and that was probably the best track that we had on a Forza series. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think Premier's gonna show out and do great. It's a little, it's a little draft heavy, obviously, but I really think it's gonna be fuel heavy. I think it's gonna be whoever's the first car coming in to the pit road and making adjustments there and getting off fast and taking the best approach. And then it's gonna be very interesting. Hendrick, it's probably it's probably one of the experiences where you're gonna go to a short track. It's across the street, then jump over with me to a track in Indy. You're actually going three. You might actually go three with me. You might go 3 different tracks this week for the first time all season. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
I know we're not
that
going to
is
be
the
picking
plan.
NXT. It's very interesting.
Yeah, speaking of people that hopped into our little voice thing and then left, I will confirm that for
Try to sneak
NXT,
in.
I will be driving for Ironman this Sunday.
Mhm.
And then to go with it, there is also a very good chance I will be racing on Monday too, from what I have been told. So yeah, I think it'll be 3 for 3.
Yep, it's going to be very interesting. You're going from a short track to a speedway to a draft central track. So it's going to be very interesting for anybody who does the triple duty.
Duty. Fuck. That's cringe.
So who you got? I'll start with you, Hendrik. Who you got?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think if you did get a Pocono, I think you're gonna do good at Indy.
Okay. Fair point.
So I'm going to start out with my dark horse pick here. Go on ahead. I'm gonna make sure he's actually, a fair dark horse, because I don't really know if I would consider him as one. Okay. All right. So for my dark horse, give me B13. First
Okay.
one outside the playoff bubble right now, or technically would be the last because of the Charter 40. But B13 did really good at Pocono. As far as I can remember, he was flirting within the top 10 throughout all 3 facets of the race. This would be a very good upcoming Monday for him if he can, do as I would expect him to do.
Yeah.
And then for my primary pick, I don't feel super confident. I feel like there's a couple really good choices here. I'm gonna go with Carrot on this one. Carrot got top 5 at Pocono. He's coming off his first win. Who's to say that it wouldn't hurt for him to get a second one?
It'll be nice back to back. Very, very
And
nice.
especially now that he is teammates with Stein, I won't be shocked if he even learns a few new tricks up at Stein's sleeve this week.
Very true. Very true. Very true. All right, Brent, who do you got this week?
To happen because imagine the shit talk he'll talk, but I think Stein finally wins this week.
Okay.
Finally secures a win after switching from 3 different car numbers this season. Elf person, by the way. But yes, I think Stein finally gets it done. He's finishing second. He's basically the Sterlo of last season, but without the stage wins and without the flash. So yeah. And then if I had to go for my dark horse, I think again K-Therms. I think he's considered a dark horse now. Really, I think this is one of the tracks that's gonna suit him the best. I feel like he's gonna be good here. And yeah, those are my 2 picks.
I agree. Those are great picks by both of you. That's okay. It's a good one. Back to back. B13. I missed the last night, but it should be very interesting. Stein finally getting his victory would be a nice storyline this week at Indy. And K Therms has just been, he's been on fire this season. He's definitely a dark horse still until he gets over that hump and doing the best he can. I'm gonna go Line Cone as my number 1. I think this track suits him to be in prime position for a victory. And my dark horse is going to be the man, the legend, Camo's worst nightmare, pain in his existence. I'm gonna go Bren as my dark horse because I think Bren can finally get it done and finally get the victory and push HVM over the top. I don't know if he was responsible to that. You can respond to that, Bren. Do you feel confident in the top 5 at Indy this week?
Once I get my setup in, yeah. If I can get a setup in, figure out what runs the best here, I feel like I'll be solid. Just need the setup.
Sure. Well, we won't keep anybody's time. I know it's a holiday week, and I don't want to, push everybody. Thanks for listening. Happy holiday, Christmas, whatever holiday you celebrate. I know Hanukkah and all that stuff. So shout out everybody. But Christmas is just the next 2 days, so it should be interesting. Have a great holiday season. Be safe. Enjoy time with your family. And I'll see everybody back on Saturday for the truck race at IRP. NXT goes to Texas. And then Premiere goes to the Brickyard. So it should be very fun. Shout out to Soul for doing this on a Tuesday. I know it's a special Tuesday edition of Overdriven. And I know he has stuff to do as well on the IRE. Shout out Audible for helping us produce this stuff every week and being able to do this on a short notice on a Tuesday. And shout out Hendrik and Brennan for joining me on a Tuesday. And hopefully you both have a good holiday next 2 days and enjoy it. And then just to enjoy the time off. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the time off. Can't wait to see y'all Saturday and Sunday, and Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it should be fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing Bren wearing all that Jacksonville Jaguars merch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would never in my life wear Jaguar merch, okay? You better shut up, man.
I heard
no. No, hell nah, bro. If I ever no. Stroll's my teammate, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna like his football team. I can hate his football team, but like the person, okay?
Yeah.
Dummy, yeah. All right, that's perfect time to send us out. Everybody have a safe couple days. See y'all this weekend. Follow everybody in there. Follow us on Twitter if you're interested in joining. Don't be afraid to send us a message on Discord. It says my name on the bottom of the screen. It says our names, our handles or whatever. Same thing. It's my same name on Discord. So hit us up. We'll get you on the server. Hopefully you can be able to start soon. Not really championship contender right now, but get your feet wet in the door of ODRL. And honestly, I think it's the best league on Xbox, especially on preset wise, and doing the best we can and doing a great job everywhere, and fun every weekend. So I'm very proud of everybody. NXT has been doing great. Premiere, phenomenal as always. In trucks, Trucks deserves more praise because it's very goated right now. It's very fun. Every Saturday we show up late night and we show up, have the time of our lives, and just enjoy it, race our asses off, and it's fun. They deserve all the praise in the world. I love it. I love it all. So it's very fun. But everybody have a good night. Insoluble, send us out, my friend.